Hello, Vatos. Welcome to a new Nashville Masterclass. I am your host, James May. And I've kind of decided to let loose. I look back over all my other videos and I feel like I'm talking like I'm a news reporter. And that's no fun. Today, I'm going to talk about what happens when the magic of sobriety is gone. When people first get into sobriety, all over Facebook and Instagram are pictures of them and other people from AA, and they're going out to eat, and they get a job at a gas station, or someone, helps them get a used car, and God is great, and they post all these AA book quotes that we all have heard a million times. But what happens when that all goes away? See, it doesn't last for a lifetime. When I first got sober, I had so many friends. I never had time to do all the things I wanted to do. I was so happy. Now I've had to move away to a town, a part of the country where I have no friends, no family members. As luck would have it, I don't have a vehicle now. And I've been stuck inside a house for a year. I'm doing fine. But, yeah, it can drive you crazy. And what do you do when you have all day with nobody but yourself? And maybe a very whiny beagle and a giant 125-pound Labrador that is stronger than you or any other man. That is where relapse is waiting for you. Now, when you're floating on the pink cloud, as they say, you don't think that it'll happen to you. You like to think that if that did, that you would be just fine, because blah, 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 and blah, 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 and you don't know what you're talking about until you're there. Of course, you can take a couple weeks, a month, but over a year, it's been extremely difficult on me, and I've seen plenty of other people that have had years of sobriety, and they go full-blown relapse. I don't mean they had a hiccup. They had it's not an accident, you know what you're doing, but they just go full back into doing drugs. And it's a pit waiting for anybody. And shit, anybody that's been in solitary confinement in jail will tell you it does things to your mind that you wouldn't believe. Start second guessing yourself. Panic attacks. Oh God. For a whole month, I didn't put out videos because I had a week-long panic attack. Of course, it wasn't a week, but it just kept happening and happened every day. My heart was beating out of my chest, and the reason for it is there was no one to talk to. Now you could say, why don't you join a AA or NA group where you're at? Well, when I got here, it was COVID. Now I don't have a vehicle. Now it's just become a hassle to try to find anybody. Of course, there's online meetings. I do that, and I have friends I talk to online, but it doesn't make up for human contact. And you find yourself sitting alone, and all that magic that held you up when you first got sober begins to sink, and you sink back into despair. And just because you become sober, that doesn't mean you are in charge of your emotions more. Actually, you're more exposed to feelings and emotions, and there is nothing to buffer them, and you just have to take them head on. So how do you deal with it? Prayer, meditation, watching movies, TV, what do you do? Well, I've tried to stick myself into learning as much as I can, but again, that only goes so far. You need human contact. You need people around you, and you need to get out and just go do things. This channel is one way I cope with life in general, because life isn't just what you see on Facebook. In fact, that's a lot of BS, right? We see people that will post nothing but the nicest, perfect things, when that's not what's going on in their life. Or someone who posts nothing but the most disparaging things, and their life is not completely like that. It's not a good way to compare yourself. And another thing, don't compare yourself to anybody, right? Because life goes up and down. We can't harness an emotion. We can't harness a feeling and hold on to that. No. The secret to enlightenment, the secret to dealing with life when it's not so great, is accepting that life changes. As good as it is one day, it could all go away the next. A series of unfortunate events can happen to anybody, and we all want to think that we've got God in our heart, and we'll always be okay, but that's not how it works. That's just not how it works. No matter what your faith is, there is nothing in the Quran, there is nothing in the Bible, nothing in the Torah that says you will always be happy, because that's not true. You have to accept that there's going to be times, and it may be a long time. Man, just be a few days, some months. It could be a long time where life just keeps throwing you curveballs. And it can drive you crazy. None of us are immune. I'm not immune. No one's immune. Right? I don't even post things on Facebook anymore, because what's the point? I want to impress a bunch of people that really could care less, I want you guys to know that no matter where you're at, if you're in a place of complete happiness, that's great. It won't last forever, no matter what you think or hope. If you're in a place right now that is bad, you're lonely, you don't have the things that you need that are necessary to life in today, that it won't last either. And we have to accept. We have to accept things that we can't control, right? It's in that prayer, and grant us the serenity to accept the things we can't change. Serenity prayer. I don't want to go through that. But we say it and we say it, but do we actually really understand it? Do we really understand that there are things coming our way that we can't change? And it's not like the world is on fire, but you're still sitting there with a smile on your face because you're not high. No, there will come times where you will think about getting high. It does. It happens to everybody. It happens to people with decades clean. I don't know how many times I've heard people, it's just not even an issue anymore. I don't ever think about it. That's BS. Because that's not even how the human brain works. It's about accepting that drugs and getting high will do nothing but make it worse. And there's some people that live and thrive in that area of sobriety, getting clean. They stay in rehab, they stay in halfway houses because they thrive there. But you've never grown. You do not grow if you are continuously just going to rehabs and staying in halfway houses. You have to grow. Just like a beautiful rose growing out of the ground. You have to grow, and sometimes it's summer and sometimes it's winter. And we have to withstand what's coming. And there's going to be times where you're just going to want to throw it all away. Where it feels like it doesn't matter anymore. But that's how it catches you, right? You start doing some dope again, and then you start meeting friends that do dope. Then you meet a girl or a guy, and you start going down this rabbit hole, and what you've really done is you've reset everything you accomplished and set it back years. And then you got to go through it again. You have to go through all of it all over again. And I hate seeing people fall for it. I hate being in the place I am right now. It's not fun. I'm not having a great time. However, I do know that this won't last forever. I do know that I'm heading down to Nashville, and I'm going to spend some time there and do some videos on Underground Nashville, and it'll be fun, and I hope to see you guys there. But life is going to make you crazy, and there's going to be times where your friends are, if you're in A and NA, your friends are going to die. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but yeah, it happens. I every year, 3 or 4 at least die that I know, and that's one less person you have in your corner. And people relapse, and it's life, right? This is a master class of life. And how to deal with it when you experience trauma and addiction. People give you all sorts of conflicting things. I would have never got clean if they hadn't have made me. Well, I would have never got clean till I decided that I wanted to get clean. Well, I wouldn't get clean with AA. I didn't get clean till I found Christ. Well, I hated having to learn about Jesus. I didn't get clean until I was in a place that let me believe in nothing. So what is it? Well, the answer means that it all lies within you and finding what connects to your heart. And just like everything in the universe, everything is in flux. Your feelings are in flux. Life is in flux. Your happiness, your emotions, things change, they dip, they rise. You need to learn when things rise to take advantage of what you have. And when things start to sink, to be aware of what's happening. And hopefully when things have gone up, you have gathered tools to help you get through the hard times. Whether those tools were learning music, learning a hobby, a craft, gathering good friends, saving your money, little things like that are what's going to get you through, and learning new things. You don't know everything. None of us do. None of us are impervious to the trauma that we've experienced. We don't control it. Just like we can't control drugs. You don't control life. And we like to think we're in control of our emotions. But unless you're a Buddhist monk, you don't. Because you can make anybody mad or anybody sad by doing things to them. And that will prove to you right there that you don't control your emotions. Unless somebody can set fire to your cat right in front of you and you just smile through it. Things happen. And crap happens. And things are down and things will go up. But just know that. And know that you're not alone. Don't look on Facebook and Instagram and be like, God, they're so happy, why aren't I? Because they're not everything. They're just showing you the best part. Or they're showing you the worst. It's very rare that you just see a rise and fall. It is what it is. Right? So continue to learn. Continue to keep your eyes open. And do not try to pretend that things aren't happening inside you. When you're unhappy, if things are making you sad, talk about it. Realize it as it's happening. Don't try to be like, no, I'm better than that now. I'm sober, so I've rose above those kinds of feelings and thoughts. You rose above nothing. All you've done is change the way you thought. If you're religious, that's great. If God helps you get through the tough times, then I'm all for it. There's so many different ways. But stay in tune with yourself and what's happening. And stay on top of it. And remember that as bad as times get when you're sober, try to remember what it was like being sick or being homeless, walking through the streets with nobody to care for you. Sometimes it's hard to remember. Sometimes it doesn't even make a difference in how we feel right now. But no, I go through crap all the time. But I'm right here with you. And we'll keep doing this on the Nashville Masterclass until I'm dead. So, I'll see you cats on the next one.